Markets are going to get real juicy in the middle of the week, but let's still throw out some analysis and let's do a recap of last week to see where we're at. Let's roll the intro. Traders, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Sunday market breakdown. It's your boy Cleveland. Hope you guys had a good week. Okay, hope you guys had a great weekend. Let's see what we're looking like this week. We are in April, into April. This is April week 4, and then we're gonna be moving over into May. Okay, the year again flying by. We had a lot of data that got pushed out last week. We'll talk about that. But we also have some really awesome positioning that markets are in. Okay, so we just got off a webinar. It's about 10 o'clock Sunday night right now. We just got off a webinar. We see a lot of moves to happen, and I want to share a couple of those moves and a couple of the trade ideas that we see to happen tomorrow. And on Wednesday, we're going to be pushing out a high impact, so make sure you guys are subscribed so you guys can get notified that that stuff is coming out. And always, if you guys like the content, like the video for your boy, I appreciate it. All right, so last week the US dollar went haywire. Okay, here's a couple of articles from Seeking Alpha about the Fed spiking the dollar. The Fed comments kind of, you know, giving the dollar a bullish move. Apparently they saw some inflation somewhere around the industrial sector, right? So producers, and so that gave the dollar a lot of strength, and we saw that play out across all dollar crosses, and it was very prevalent. It was also extremely prevalent on the UCAD because the UCAD on Friday, Canada CPI came out quite negative. Okay, they were expecting a 0.4, they ended up getting 0.3, and folks, this is continuing to happen for Canada. Here's a quick breakdown of what Canada CPIs have looked like, and they have not been good. Okay, they have not been good. That's pretty interesting. So again, that's why you saw a dramatic price move up. Canada's really the lagger right now when it comes to inflation. They were killing it in 2017. They probably did a little much on those interest rates last year. They hiked rates 3 times. I think the expected was 2. There was a point even at which there was a 50-50 likelihood that they were going to heighten rates the day of the rate hike, and they ended up heightening, and then you saw literally a 200 pip price move because so many market participants were uncertain of where markets were going to go. I'll show you guys. Here's where that actually happened. You see such a dramatic price move. In Bloomberg, okay, you'll see them talk about that kind of stuff happening. It's called the surprise index, where the market isn't quite sure what's going to happen, so they haven't quite priced it in, and then when the data comes out, boom, you get that immediate price in, and then you get a very dramatic price move. That's a real key to playing fundamentals. By the way, coming out with a very massive fundamental course for everybody. It's been very much wanted. I got you on that one. So we'll see what happens in that regard, and we'll go into the chart and see what we're looking like on the USD CAD. Now, when it comes to the US dollar, lots of strength. Okay, I was getting hit up a lot, and everyone's saying, man, the US dollar is buying up so dramatically. What do we do? Folks, if you look at the dollar index, you guys will see that this wasn't even a breakout of this overall price range. This market has been ranging for quite some time, and we are just now getting a gap, but we haven't really had a serious breakout, and then markets actually sustained. So do I expect that we're going to get some dollar strength? I do, but I'm not expecting dollar strength Monday, Tuesday. I'm hoping to see some dollar strength in the later part of the week. If we get dollar strength early on, then we'll be able to play that over on the euro. We'll take a break sell side. I'll talk about that again over when we do analysis, but right now markets are really prime and somewhat structured to see a little bit of dollar weakness. Jesus called out a GBP long play. I was thinking the same thing. Aussie looks pretty good long as well. Again, we'll go over and look at it in the charts, but I want to see US dollar strength. Okay, let's just set the stage here. I don't want to see it Monday, Tuesday. All right, so we'll see what happens. We have a high impact video coming out tomorrow as well to give you guys a better idea as to what we're looking for. Okay, GBP/AUD looks real good as well. GBP/AUD holding the highs of these consolidations. Aussie's been hit pretty hard. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow on the high impact, but I'm thinking that Aussie can potentially break back down into this GBP/AUD range, and then we'll hopefully see a potential corrective move back up into structure if the pound continues to see the strength that the pound has been able to push out there. All right, so overall markets this week, very interesting. Wanted to run through things real quick. I like US dollar long, but structurally right now there are some pairs that I'm really digging for some US dollar weakness. NZD USD is another one that we're keeping an eye on. If we do end up getting US strength earlier than we expected, Would love to play that on the Euro USD. We have some ECB data coming out on Thursday. Again, we're going to talk about that later. But I want to really set the stage, show you guys the structure, give you guys a nice framework for us to work in for the entire week. And then subsequently after that, we'll play the fundamentals. All right. Other than that, guys, let's move over into the charts. Make sure you guys are subscribed and of course like the video for your boy. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys join the community down below. That link will be in the description. Just a quick snapshot of what we do. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay, guys, let's pull over to the charts, see what we got. All right, traders, let's take a look at these markets. All right, traders, let's pull. Okay, guys, let's pull over into these charts real quick. So we have seen a. All right, traders, let's pull over into these charts real quick. We've seen some U.S. dollar strength that has kind of come on in to the picture here. If I pull up the dollar index, you guys will notice that the U.S. strength is still kicking in just a bit. We're up 0.37 on the day. That includes a gap, a Sunday night gap that happened. But if you guys can see, we're really at the top of the range here of the dollar index. And you guys will see that we're at the bottom of the range over there on the euro. And we still have yet to see if markets can break out the range, right? That's where all the true profit potential is going to be. If I pull over into the weekly, you guys can see that, you know, again, we are seeing markets hold this high. I mean, if markets can sustain this high, then, folks, I mean, we're at the highest point the dollar has been at since February 5th, okay? I mean, we waked up into that structure the week of February 26th. But man, oh man, if we can close higher than that, well, then we haven't closed higher than this point right here since February 6th. And I'm thinking that it can happen. We have an ECB meeting that's coming up on Thursday. And I'm not too sure that Draghi and his team are going to be so hawkish, which could definitely lead markets higher up into that structure, okay? So we had a call last night, and on the call we mentioned that, you know, the dollar, it moved pretty fast, okay? It moved pretty fast, and the speed at which it moved could yield us a potential pullback. And we were talking about some of the different pairs that markets could, where we could see that dollar pullback and where we could be effective in taking that trade, which would basically be, again, a dollar sell-off. But we also had a contingency in case U.S. strength continued to prelude, and we wanted to see that happen over here on the Euro U. Okay, so the Euro U, again, if I pull back over to the daily, you guys will see that we are sitting still inside of a pretty large consolidation. Markets right here at the 2234s. I mean, that's the last-ditch effort, really, because we have markets sitting there now, price point, a little bit of consolidation outside that level. But then we get another price point here, and you get a little consolidation around that area. If markets break outside of this 2230 number, then you will definitely see a continuation, at least down into these 21 mids, which is a pretty decent-sized price move. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Again, we were hoping to see a little bit of a retracement, but in case we didn't see that retracement, there was a breakout opportunity that was here on this Euro USD. A retracement would have meant that for us, we would have only wanted to see markets really hold this level, hold this price area here. You guys can see that there is a lot of structure there, and this little blue line here signifies where we would have loved to take a pullback, sell, right? We wanted markets to maybe pull back up into the 2320s and then sell off. But you always know that momentum may prelude, and you may get more than you expect, which drove market sell side. And so over here, let me pull up the AUD/USD. AUD/USD, we also had a structure drawn up where we said, hey, look, if we get that pullback for that US dollar strength, we might be able to start throwing some size in up here at the 77 flats. But markets never got there. I mean, literally, as soon as the Euro Open popped off, you just saw markets really go sell side. You'll see that on the 3 a.m. open here, right around, boom, 3 a.m. open, you see a lot of momentum to the sell side, and that broke us completely outside of this range there. So pretty interesting. If I pull back over here to the 4-hour, you guys can see, again, we're still structured in those lows, though. So we have yet to break the lows. We are now just officially just testing the lows, and it really might take this U.S. session that's about to open up in a few hours to really see if the momentum is going to come in or not. We love the fractal nature of this Aussie. Aussie's fractals are pretty interesting. You guys will notice that all throughout 2016 and throughout 2017, when markets pull to the upside, you get a pretty dramatic pull sell side and vice versa. So markets are very, very rangy, okay? And so, again, if you're trying to calculate markets continuing in that fashion,
then you could assume to see market participation up into these highs here. Again, if markets continue with the range, but could markets exist and could this sell side move be a little bit larger than you expect, meaning that you're a little bit early in that move? It could totally happen. You could see markets come down to the 75.40s. Right now we're sitting at the 76.40, so 100 pips sell side move could happen before you saw markets have this sizable up move that it seems to have after a larger tracement. Okay, so that's something that we are looking for. Aussie's been beat down quite a bit. If I pull over here and I'll show you guys the exotics, and then again, it looks crazy, but notice all of our Aussie pairs here in the middle. You got our euro pairs at the top, you got our pound pairs at the bottom. If I pull over, let me expand it out a bit just so no one's too confused. And I'll go to the weekly. So here on the Euro AUD, you guys can see that, obviously the Euro performing quite well relative to the Aussie. And the Aussie last week as well did not do so hot, right? Pulling over here, Aussie CHF, you guys can see that the CHF is, again, getting priced less after the past few days. If I pull over, you guys will see that at one point it cost 0.75 Swiss franc to get one Aussie dollar. Now it's costing 74, right? So again, CHF gaining value over the Australian dollar. JPY, same thing, okay? And if we pull over Aussie CAD, same thing. CAD gaining a lot compared to most pairs, but as you guys can see in the past few days, Aussie not doing too hot. Okay, so the Aussie's been beat down quite a bit. Any kind of positive data coming out from Australia is going to definitely yield us to us seeing that up move for the Aussie USD. It's just all about timing. When is that data going to come out? And when we're going to have the chance to get that entry. Okay, is that entry going to come this week? Is it going to come next week? Do markets have to sell off a little bit more? We'll have to see. Okay, we'll have to see. We were also looking at the NZD USD. I'll just zoom over there. We're looking at the NZD USD because, as well, folks, man, we're still sitting at this low here. So it's going to be a defining moment for the dollar, because if we can break outside of that consolidation on the dollar index, you guys can see we're really breaking outside of consolidation across all these pairs. The consolidation looks different on all of them, but nevertheless, a breakout of that dollar index right here, okay, a breakout of this high is definitely going to push us, and you're going to see a very expansive move across most of the U.S. crosses. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting play. Let's see what happens. We did have some data that came out last week speaking on, again, the Fed, and seeing that the Fed is really likely to start increasing the pace of their rate raise because inflation has kind of popped up out of nowhere after looking at some industrial numbers, industrial data that came out last week. So if that trend continues, if that underlying sentiment continues, then folks, your dollar is going to be higher. Okay, we're going to finally have an up move. And the up move that we've been waiting for, well, the first price area that we wanted markets to really run to was right around the 61.8 there that it just drew up. So really the 92s. And if we get priced to the 92s here, well, that'll lead us to, I'll pull over here on the daily, price to the 92s on the dollar index will definitely lead us to this structure here, the $20s on the Euro U. Okay, so let's see if we get some U.S. strength this week. It seems like it's coming in a little bit sooner than expected. Are we going to get a pullback? We'll have to see, sit and wait to see what markets are going to do. But just strategically, how you play it is gonna matter a lot. Whether you play it as a breakout move and you're looking for the breakout outside of the outside of the 2230s, we're looking for the move really in the 2240s, putting some size on around there. But it seems like the 2230s is the real defining area that price would have to break through. Or are you going to wait for that pullback and see markets back up into structures? The U.S. dollar going to see a little bit of weakness before that strength comes in. We'll have to see. Okay, again, I would love to see the pullback. Who wants to get in on the breakout when you expect a pullback to happen, but you don't want to miss the move, which is why the breakout gives you the opportunity to potentially put some small size on, and as markets tend to run in your favor, you can start adding on to some positions, right? Sometimes people just do that just to do it. Strategically, you want to do that, depending on the strategy you're playing, all right? So, guys, look, your profit always my motive. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let's see what we get this week. Really excited. Real quick, wanted to run through the GBP AUD just to throw it out there. GBP AUD was also something that we were looking for. A sell side break on this GBP AUD would be nice. Again, this would elude to some more Aussie strength. All right, and that's what we really wanted to see with some Aussie strength. We wanted markets to break outside of this consolidated high and potentially run back down to this consolidated low, but that would only happen if that Aussie kicked into gear. All right, let's hope it happens. Guys, let me know if you need anything. Peace.